I've decided to be like the politicians and go to the island for my birthday. I figure what better way to reward myself becoming a year older than to visit the island. The hell's Paradise Island, you freaks? What do you think I was saying? Anyway, let's jump into peak. Oh, you got charms, You got charms, that's for damn sure. I love that it's in like a heart formation too. Oh, I love being on this island. Oh shit. Oh my god, he's like, I love it here. I love it here. Give me that ass. Bonsai. He's just casually racist and sexist to everyone. He's not a bonsai tree. Please don't say that. Damn, boy. Get wrecked. You ain't so hot anymore, huh? Ooh, I do not want the snips. We need our manhood to remain. Growing it back, we've had it our whole lives. We don't want to regrow a new one. So like a politician, I decided to head to his island this week. But not the island you're thinking of. Now, I think a lot of people will probably either A, not talk about this episode that much, because it wasn't super explosive as we're kind of used to, especially with the second season, or the people who do talk about it will probably be like, yeah, it's a pretty good episode, but, you know, it's whatever. Next week is where it's really going to cook, because obviously, I mean, the plan was to avoid fighting. It was like, hey, we steal the elixir and we're getting off the island tonight. Yeah, someone's dying for sure minimum, but maybe even 2 or 3 could be dead. Things have escalated, but I think this was the perfect calm before the storm episode. It literally, it kind of, in a weird way, felt like Avatar: The Last Airbender in the, like, first bit of the episode. I felt like learning about the world, the powers, the spirituality of things, while also just building in this confrontation. And I mean, similar to a lot of shows when they get to their endgame, I feel like the rest of the season is just going to be conflict. Like, I don't see how it de-escalates at any point, but at the same time, I have no idea if we're at the end game or if we're at the middle point. You can let me know in the comments, because I honestly have no idea if we're approaching the finish line of Hell's Paradise or we're just getting started. But I would be shocked if it's not 6 episodes minimum of them throwing hands with where we left this episode off. Now, you know what to do, though. If you got this far in the video, drop a like, share your support, subscribe, ring that bell if you haven't already, and Patreon's where you can go to catch my full live reactions, all some more, which is the reason you get these YouTube videos, because it helps fund the channel and videos just like these. I'll be honest, I wasn't ready for how savage the torture scene was, because when Buddy brings up the scissors, I honestly thought, because we know about this show, it's sexuality and everything, I legitimately thought he was just going to snip his schlong off. It'll regrow, doesn't matter. And to be honest, they probably did that too. But when we walk in and there's fingers on the floor, he's holding up his severed arm, I'm like, okay, man. Like, even though you can regrow everything, it doesn't change the fact that he feels all that pain. Somehow this crazy son of a bitch, though, kept his sanity during that entire ordeal. Now, it's not looking good, because Bro is the reason they were able to catch us in the act. Otherwise, I don't think they would have caught us, because the entire reason they knew they were coming is because he's like, I can sense my brother's tower or whatever, so therefore I can tell you when they're coming. I already know what they're probably planning to do, like, we can catch them in the act. That's why the entire plan with Gabimaru was, hey, no matter what you do, don't engage. Unfortunately, every single group we have is now cornered. They have to fight. And unfortunately, maybe a few of them might be able to get some W's, but the collective cast as a whole is not going to be able to defeat everything that they're fighting. Fuck this guy. Is there a hidden meaning, a hidden motive? I mean, he does kind of admit, like, they're not my friends, they're my enemies. The only one he actually gives a shit about it is his brother, so fuck, you know, I honestly don't know. But, like, there's certain situations like this. Our blind badass, do I think he can hold his own? Yes, but do I think they're gonna get in our way? Also yes. Situations like these feel a little more like, you know, I think they got it. I think they got it, but I don't know anymore, man. Like, they really did a good job at letting your guard drop and de-escalate. I figured this was a calm before the storm, and I knew shit was gonna pop off. We weren't just gonna break into some chapel or something, steal a cure. I don't even think they have the cure finished yet. Or the, you know, the elixir, right? So I knew it wasn't going to go over well, but it's just the way that they just say, hey, we're gonna teach, everyone has kind of a little secret technique, so you know, it's fun seeing them be teachers, you know, it's very cute. Once again, the thing that I've been highlighting, this is a group of characters that should not normally interact with each other the way they are, so seeing a misfit group like this with such varying hostilities and personalities interact with each other is a very fun dynamic. And honestly, I felt like by the end of this whole plan, we came together as a team. We had a good foundation to work with. We had our head on our shoulders. Everything was going good until it wasn't. Honestly, though, I will say the way they explored kind of night vision, that's how I'm going to describe it. It's super interesting because half the characters, when they were using Gabimari's technique, the best way I felt like it could be described, it was like they kind of stared into hell and hell stared back at them and they weren't prepared for the energy coming their way, where he's just like, yeah, you don't have to do that. Just leave it to me. I'm used to it. Pulls up his mask like a badass. Like, talk about slapping your dick on the table. Just super cool. But it is a really cool system. I mean, like, this is like what we're kind of seeing, but this is how they see it. It's basically night vision. And I think it's a really cool way to get across the fact that, you know, everything kind of has an energy. So in doing so, it's basically like seeing in the dark. I just think while a lot of the information we already kind of knew, just having an episode that felt educational, but not so dry and boring that it's like watching paint dry, you know? It was just a really effective episode at letting your guard drop, decompress, learn a lot of things while also setting in motion the end game of the season. Yes, we're still very early into the season of Hell's Paradise, but like I said, I don't see how this isn't something that lasts a long time. It feels to me very similar to like a Demon Slayer season when you have like 8 episodes remaining and you realize it's just going to be non-stop action. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting right now. I would be shocked if they're able to escape and regroup. And the worst part too is even if, say, you survive this, it's not like we get the elixir here probably. Also, there's an entire new wave of enemies coming towards us. It's just non-stop clashing. I will be shocked if most of the current cast we have make it out of this situation alive. I expect at least 1, maybe even up to 3 big deaths here. Maybe it won't go that crazy, but that's the unfortunate energy it's giving me. Listen, Hell's Paradise has been on a roll. I think the first season was still better than a lot of people made it out to be, but there's no denying that the story has hit its stride. Now that introductions are mostly out of the way, now that people are a little more situated in this fucked up environment, we are able to really get the ball moving. And whether or not we are approaching an endgame, whether or not this story still has a lot left, all I can say is my eyes are glued to the screen more than they've ever been. And while, yes, episodes like last week and probably next week are going to be so explosive that our brain is going to leak from our ears, I can't deny that this episode had me just as hooked in as any of the prior episodes of this new season. And that's a testament to the writing, that this show isn't just about shock value. For some people, maybe it is. For me, it's the way they write the world and the lore building of everything. And honestly, as I've said, despite the kinky, sexy nature of the show, it also is really interesting with how they legitimately making it a thought-provoking story that's not just about tits, you know? Your thoughts, though. Let me know what you thought down below. Drop a like, share your support, subscribe, ring that bell, and Patreon is where catch those full live reactions and other exclusives like Halo to give video shows to those patrons because they make these videos possible. All right, so today we got Match, Mate, Carl Stefan Berndal, Achiel, Convoy 83, Hayden, Cody Namir, and we also have Project 7. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. You all have a good one.